about getting paying clients and really booking out some clients this week, okay? So this is something you guys have been asking me about, and I'm just excited to share a few tips that I think if you implement in your business. All right, sorry guys, I think we got disconnected for a minute. If you implement these in your business, you can go off and sign some clients this week, okay? So I really just want to kind of kick off the week with that. Say hello as you join, and hello, gorgeous. All right, let's do this. I have just a few notes here for you guys today. I'm not in my office today, well, right now, because I am waiting for my second nanny, housekeeper, to show up. We're going to chat a little bit about some things that I'd love for her to come in and take on for me. Okay. Say hi in the comments, give me hashtag replay if you're viewing the replay, and let me know your questions. I want to jump in and answer them. So we'll keep this conversation going. Couple things, okay? I just want to share a couple of things that I think are just going to be really, really helpful for you to go off and maybe book some clients this week, okay? So one of the first things that I really love to do, and I actually recommend this for everybody. I don't care what level or stage you are at in your business. This is a really great tip that you can use months and years to come, okay? It is a strategy I've been using, God, I don't know, 5 or 6 years I've been using this strategy now, right? And my clients are using it. And again, it doesn't really matter the stage you're at. If you're brand spanking new or if you've been doing this, right? If you've been at it for a little while, this is a strategy you could use. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is tapping into low-hanging fruit. So I do have an upcoming challenge where we're going to do 5 live days, and I'm going to be diving into 5 different ways, actually, that you can book yourself solid and fill out your coaching or done for you services, okay? If you want that link, let me know below. We haven't started promoting it yet, but it's coming right up. But anyway, one of the things we're going to be covering in that 5-day free challenge is low-hanging fruit. But I want to touch on it a little bit now, too. You know, if you're brand new or even if you're seasoned or you've been at this for a little while, the first strategy I always go to is kind of like, you know, that go-to. Hello, Rachel. Good to see you here. So, yes, it is usually low-hanging fruit. So low-hanging fruit, you know, looks like hot traffic. It looks like hot leads, okay? So these are people that you would really think are ideal clients, right? Like someone that you really feel genuinely like you could help them, okay? Now, you may or may not have a relationship or conversation or connection already going on, but even if you don't have that just yet, if you have some sort of intuitive feeling that this person is someone you can help, maybe you've seen them post things online that indicate that they're struggling with the thing that you do and that you could help them accomplish something, right? Or maybe it is someone you have had a conversation with and you guys have discussed, you know, maybe you've gone back and forth trying to help them a little bit or answering some of their questions or just building up that relationship, but you haven't had a sales conversation yet. Or you might have had a sales conversation and for whatever reason, they haven't become a paying client yet. They haven't signed up yet. What you want to be doing when you're thinking of low-hanging fruit is you're thinking of the fastest, easiest way that you could get some sales in the door this week, okay? Now, the fastest, easiest way to do that is not cold traffic, right? It's not going to be people you have absolutely no idea who they are. They don't know who you are not connected in any way, shape, or form, you've never had a conversation ever, like, they don't know you from a hole in the wall. They have no idea who you are, what you do, okay? And you have no idea who they are, what they do. That is cold traffic. Cold traffic has to be nurtured, okay? They have to be really well taken care of, and they need to have some know, like, and trust with you before they're going to make any investment or even get on a free sales call with you, okay? That's really important to know. So for those of you trying to book sales calls and you're feeling like people aren't even signing up for my free call, then they don't know, like, and trust you yet, okay? So you got to work on that a little bit. You got to work on nurturing a little bit more and building a relationship before you go in for that, what I call the kill, okay? You don't want to do that too quickly or too soon, okay? So low-hanging fruit are people you've kind of already done that with. Maybe you go in social media groups, maybe you go in other Facebook groups, and there's people in there that you talk to on a regular basis, or you help them on a regular basis, or you answer their questions and join in their conversations on a regular basis, or maybe you see them posting on a regular basis, you see them posting, that they're struggling with this, or they have questions about this, and this is that thing that you do, right? And you feel like, gosh, I go in there and I see them posting and I answer their questions and I really show up as an expert, and I think I could really help them. These are people that probably know you a little bit, like you a little bit, and they might even trust you a little bit, like maybe enough to get on a call with you, or maybe enough where you could start a private conversation with them in a very genuine, non-pitchy way that could lead to a sales conversation, okay? That is one aspect of low-hanging fruit, okay? So really think about, where am I spending time online? Who am I already in front of? Who have I already maybe built up, positioned myself and built up some know, like, and trust with, where, that it wouldn't feel uncomfortable or too soon or pitchy or salesy to kind of go connect with them and see if we could start a sales conversation, or just see where it goes, right? That's one part. The other part is past buyers, people that have ever bought anything from you, even if it was for $1. Anyone that's ever purchased from you knows, likes, and trusts you, or they never would have purchased, even if it was $1 or $27. They're not going to do that if they don't know, like, and trust you a little bit, okay? So going and looking at past buyers, this is really, this is something I do with every launch that I ever put out, or any program I'm trying to fill, or anytime I'm looking to, like, fill a few VIP spots or some coaching spots. I go to my low-hanging fruit first. Then, while I'm doing that, I am nurturing my cold traffic so I can prime and activate them as upcoming paying clients, so that I have more low-hanging fruit, okay? So you're kind of doing two things at the same time, right? And I do a lot of personal outreach when I'm tapping into low-hanging fruit, meaning that I am personally emailing people. I am personally private messaging people on voice, on private messenger on Facebook, using voice. That I am Voxering people if I have that connection with them, okay? So I'm manually behind the scenes reaching out personally to low-hanging fruit. And then on the front end of all my marketing, I'm usually just giving value. I'm giving really good value. I might be seeding a little bit, but I'm giving really good value so I can take the colder traffic and I can prime and activate them as low-hanging fruit, basically buyers, right? So past clients or buyers are really great people, because even if they don't want what you're offering, or it's not a good fit for them or whatever, they might know people. And so don't be shy or afraid to say, hey, if you know someone, I would love a connection. If there is a virtual BFF that you could think of that this would be a great fit for, or that you feel I should connect with, I'd love that introduction, right? Don't be afraid to do that, because people that you've worked with in the past, or that have ever purchased anything from you, if they're not ready to take that step with you, they might know someone who is, okay? I can tell you I've built up a great financial stability, bucket, if you will, of referrals. So it definitely is worth doing. The other thing is current clients. Now, a lot of people will come to me and they'll say, Anne, why would a current client who's already working with me, who's already invested, why would they invest in something else? Here's the thing. If you're anything like me, when I am working with my clients, I am always thinking about their next step. I'm always thinking about, like, what is coming next for them? What might they want or need next? What might I be able to do to help them fast track a little bit, or get to the next step a little faster, right? And so I'm always thinking ahead for my clients, okay? And so by doing that, what happens is when I'm working in one way with a client, there might be another way I can work with them to help them do that, to help speed up things, or even just maximize and amplify what we're already doing together. So maybe you have a client in a one-on-one coaching program or service or package, and maybe you could offer them a mini VIP day or a VIP day, okay? It'd be like an upsell. It'd be kind of a one-off upsell. Maybe they are in your group program and you want to invite them into your higher level mastermind or your one-on-one coaching so that you get more time with them and you can help move them forward a little faster, right? With some more access to you. So those are just a couple of examples, okay, of what you can be doing. Maybe you are doing, a little bit of done-for-you services for your clients, and you really want to get them into like a recurring package where you can offer more, do more for them, right? So you might offer them, you might upsell them and move them into this other package that's just going to amplify what you guys are already doing or take them to where they want to go a little faster, right? Here's the thing, when you're working with clients, you get to know them really well and you can have a really good understanding of where they are and where they're trying to go and where are the gaps. Maybe there's something you could be doing differently with them to get them there a little faster, right? And it's kind of hard to know that before working with your clients, right? So that is another thing that you can be doing, okay? And of course, going to any colleagues or friends that you trust that you feel maybe they have some clients or some people in their community that would be a great fit for you. And of course, you're not looking for competitors. You're looking for people you could complement. So maybe you know some people that offer one service, but like they don't offer your service. And so your service is something that's missing for them. And it'd be a really great opportunity. So here's an example of that. One of my virtual colleagues is a branding expert. So she does brand. She does messaging and website design and, content and branding. And her clients typically struggle with sales. They typically struggle with having sales conversations and closing those sales. And they have a nice brand and messaging, but they're really struggling with the sales piece. So she had me come in and do a training. And I also go in and I do like some... I do some training, but I also go in and I do a little bit of like some one-on or group live coaching and Q&A in her Facebook group for those clients. So basically, I complement what she's already doing with them. So we're not really competitors, right? This is a great way to support someone else's clients. And here's the thing is I don't charge for that particular service. I do that for free as just like a bonus to her program, her branding package. But then these clients want to come connect with me and continue working with me, right? They want to come and work with me on the sales side of things. So it's a great way to get exposure and get instant credibility in front of people that are ideal clients that otherwise you would have had to spend Facebook ads on or just would have taken you a while to get there. Does that make sense? You guys getting this? Let me know if that makes sense. Those are a few ideas around, tapping into some low-hanging fruit. It's faster and easier because these people typically already have some know, like, and trust with you. So there's not a lot of like convincing that you should be doing, and you shouldn't be doing that anyway. But there's not a lot. It doesn't take as much time and effort as it would a totally, completely cold lead, okay? So a lot of people, what I see is when they want to fill up a program or they want to sign clients, they go after cold traffic and they hammer them like crazy with sales pitches. That just does not work. I don't recommend you do that, okay? It's not going to feel good and it's going to take way longer to do. It's just going to be harder, okay? So that's the first thing. So number one, if anyone joining here wants to type it in, go ahead and type in number one is tap into low-hanging fruit. Okay, number two, the second thing is do your market research. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing it, but here's the thing. I'm not ever going to stop saying it, okay? For those of you that are not signing clients and that don't feel like people are engaging with your content, 10 out of 10, it's because you're not doing your market research, so your messaging is off. okay? So I'm not going to stop saying it. You need to do the work. And part of the work is the market research. You need to go out and, talk to your audience, have a conversation with your audience. Doing market research, it doesn't always just mean you're bugging people for information or like you're just posting these questions or surveys in other people's groups. It goes so much beyond that. Like, I actually want to get on the phone. When I'm doing market research for like an upcoming launch or program, I make sure that I create space in my calendar for at least 20 conversations in 1 month, at least. And I try to have them as quickly as I can, shorter than a month's time if I can. And I'm getting on the phone with them, and I'm learning about who they are, and I'm learning about their business, and they're asking me questions, and I'm asking them questions. And it's kind of like a brainstorming session almost, more than it is like an interview. And really what I'm just looking for is like, if this is an ideal client, what is their challenge? How do they describe that challenge in their own words? What is the thing they want so badly that they're willing to pay for that thing? And then what are their gaps? So what do I feel as the expert is missing? And those should be the things I can help them with, right? Those should be the things, those gaps should be the things that I do so that I can help them with that. And that's all we're really identifying. And I'm just getting their language around it. Like how they're describing it, not how I describe it. And you'd be surprised how different that is, by the way. So it's really important that you're doing that, okay? It's really going to be important that you're doing the market research and you're having conversations. I wouldn't go just as far as putting out polls and surveys or, just asking people questions. That's part of it. But I would be getting on the phone, not to have sales conversations or to pitch people, but to actually have market research conversations. And you can do this with cold traffic. You could do this with current clients. You could do this with past buyers. You could do this with anyone who is an ideal client. But that's the key, is you want to make sure these are ideal clients. Don't ask, your coaches or colleagues who are ahead of you. Don't ask your mom or your dad or your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister, your children. You need to go after people that would potentially be an ideal client because you need their language. And if you're going to create language around what they tell you, you want it to speak to the right people. Makes sense? So have these conversations, go talk with these people, right? Do assessment calls where you're getting on the phone and you're helping them, whatever. I used to do profit blocker sessions. So these were like little mini assessments, like 20, 30 minutes long max. And basically what we would do is we would see what is blocking their profit. So what are their gaps? What is blocking them from being able to create 5-figure months in their business? And it would be a quick little assessment. And I would let them know what I think their blocks are and what their next steps should be. And that would be that. And if it felt right, we could have a sales conversation or book a sales conversation if it led in that direction, which 9 out of 10 times it did. Almost every assessment I've done like that, they have, and I've done sales assessments before too. So I've done that as well. But every time I have those types of assessment calls with people, they always end up saying, Anne, this is really interesting because this is what I need. Like, this is like really resonating with me. Can we talk about what it would be like to work with you? Or do we need to book another session? Like, what does that look like? And it was very unintentional. I literally show up to do these assessments, and they end up turning 9 out of 10 times, they end up turning into a sales conversation, or we end up booking a sales conversation. And I get sales out of that deal. Now, if I don't get sales, it's okay because I built know, like, and trust with them. I've primed them as probably a future buyer, and I got some market research at the same time, which was the number one goal. Do you see how that kind of pulls together and how awesome that could be? And then the other, and here's the thing is people really love to give you feedback. People really love to answer your questions and they want to be heard. So if you are doing free assessment calls versus free sales calls, people that don't know, like, and trust you just yet, they will book an assessment call with you before they will book a sales call with you because they just don't want to be put in that position before they know, like, and trust you. See what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. I do them still now all the time, and I not as much as I used to, but that was how I built up my entire coaching practice way back in the beginning, was doing those free assessment calls that really positioned me like that. So you gotta do that market research. And again, like I just gave you some examples of other ways to do market research that's more fun, and it doesn't feel like you're just kind of like asking questions or putting out polls and surveys all over the place. Okay, these are some cool ways. The third thing, so number 2, for those that want to pop it in, go ahead and put in number 2, do your market research. Okay, that's step number 2. So step number 1 was tap into low-hanging fruit. Step number 2 is do your market research. Step number 3 is increase your prices. Now, a lot of my clients get challenged with this when they come work with me, whether it's in my group program Unleashed or it's in my mastermind Momentum, or it doesn't even matter. One of the first things we typically end up doing is increasing your prices. And a lot of people have resistance to doing this. They have a lot of fear and a lot of doubt and a lot of concern around increasing their price points, especially if they've had any trouble selling out their current prices. So maybe you've lowered your prices. Maybe you negotiate your prices. I used to do all that stuff too, so I get it. Maybe you feel like you're having trouble selling your prices, your packages or services at the price they are now. So the thought of increasing it is like, I don't know how that would work. That's really scary, right? Like, people don't buy it now. Why would they buy it if I increased it? But here's what I want you to hear with this. There's a couple of parts of this. One, obviously, is just your mindset and your confidence around the value that you provide. But here's what I really want you to take home with this. What I want you to hear is that here's the thing, your prices, your price points for what you offer, for what you do, dictate who you attract in terms of the type of client and the mentality of that client. Now, it doesn't mean, and I'm not saying if you price everything low, that you're going to get completely like lack-minded people every time. And I'm not saying that if you price your services high, that you're going to attract the most ambitious, amazing, best clients ever. 9 out of 10, yes, that's the case, but not always. There are some times where you can price your stuff pretty high and attract a not so great client. And there's times when you can price something really low and get amazing people to come sign up. But what I want you to hear ultimately, on average, is that your prices dictate who it attracts. Because here's what I'll tell you. As a multiple 6-figure business owner myself, and someone who invests on a very, very regular basis in her business, constantly with several coaches and mentors at one time, this is my second multiple 6-figure business. In every investment I've ever made, as my income grows, as my goals get bigger, as I get more ambitious and more confident and my business really up levels, the less and less I look for cheap, okay? The less and less I look for the lower offer, the cheaper coach. I'm not into that. Here's why. Here's what I want you to hear. If you want to attract a higher playing client, a higher level client, a client with a really ambitious mentality, that's not focused on money and lack, who's making decisions based on what she wants, not what she can afford. If those are the types of people that you're trying to attract, then you need to increase your prices, because people with that mentality are not looking for cheap. Like, that's not in our vocabulary. I don't think, well, what would be cheaper, or who would be cheaper, or how could I get this at a really low price? Like, that is not our language, okay, number one. It's not our mentality, because we have already been through that, okay? And we already know to get to a certain level in your business and to continue get into higher levels in your business, baby offers don't get you there, right? PDFs don't get you there. Self-studies are not going to get you there. Small little, like one-off little tiny courses or $47 offers and things like that, they're not going to get you to a high level. Those are things that you do at the very beginning of your business when you're just dabbling and figuring stuff out. And those are things you do when you're really lack and you're scared to make investments, you're scared to take the risk, like you're not really in it yet, right? You're still kind of a hobbyist. And those are things that you invest in if you're just looking for a refresher on something. Like every once in a while, I will invest, just a few $100 or $500 in something that I think is going to like refresh me on something I already know, or is going to be something I want one of my team members to study, or, if it's something small like that. But I'm up leveling. every day. So I'm not looking for cheap. I'm not looking for small steps. I'm ready to go big all the time, right? So my mentality is you get what you pay for, okay? And when you've done this for a little while, you know that those small little offers are only taking you so far, and it isn't very far, okay? So that's what I really want you to hear when I tell people and really suggest you increase your prices. It isn't because I don't want you to get clients. You could probably get a whole bunch of really crappy clients at a low price and constantly need more and more and more of those. Or you can increase your prices and need less clients and get a handful of really solid, good clients that are going to want to continue working with you for a little while, right? It's your choice. But what I just want you to hear is that by increasing your price points, you attract a different type of client, and their mentality is way different. Okay? And so if you're feeling like you are attracting people that are saying, I don't have the money, I would love to, but I can't afford it right now. I need to speak to my significant other. I need more time. I'm not ready. I'm going to do these things first, and then maybe I'll kind of come back and check this out later. Maybe I could do this in 6 months. Like, I can tell you right now, I'm not waiting 6 months for anything. I am not waiting a week for any result if I don't have to. Like, people with entrepreneurs that are successful and have a very high mentality, we are not patient. We're not waiting around for anything. And we already have experience and know that we have to put out the money to get the money, and that business does cost money, right? And typically you're making those investments and you're taking those risks before that money comes in. And so we already know that. And when we make those big investments, we are all in. We up-level our mindset, our mentality, our confidence, and we're all in, right? That's what gets us the results, and we know that, okay? So when you increase your price points, you speak into an entirely different person, okay? Because people that are really lack-minded or really brand new and they haven't experienced risks yet, and they haven't experienced what up levels happen when you take those risks and make those big scary investments, they're not going to look at big prices. They're going to be like freaked out by that. And they're going to be like, oh no, can't afford it. Like, they just take themselves right out of the game instantly. Whereas someone who's like, oh hell yeah, like this has got to be good, right? Because if it's this much, this is going to take me where I want to go. Like, this is good. I'm looking for this, right? And they're all about it, because we at this level, we don't make investments based on if we can afford it. 9 out of 10, we don't have the money. We make investments because we believe and trust ourselves, and because we're just going for it. We're all in. We are available to take the risks, and that's why we are where we are. So there's a different mentality, and I think it's really great to share that with you, coming from somebody who is in her second multiple 6-figure business, making big, scary investments all the time in her business. I think that giving you it from that perspective might be really helpful for you and might boost your confidence a little bit on increasing your prices. And here's the other piece of this. It doesn't matter how new you are. I remember thinking when I first started, oh, I'm too new, like, to charge more, or I have to be in business for a certain amount of time before I can increase my prices, right? Like, people don't know me yet, so they're not going to pay that. But that's actually all irrelevant, because it always just comes down to that they know, like, and trust you, and that you have built that with them, that relationship, that know, like, and trust, that you're consistent in your business, and that you have a solution to the problem that they have, that they want gone right now. That is really all it comes down to. I have clients that invest in me that they don't know if I started my business yesterday or 100 years ago. They have no idea. They're meeting me for the first time, and they're watching and indulging in my videos and my trainings, and they just know they want to work with me, right? And they're just ready to make the investment. They haven't, and then on the other side of that, I have people that have watched me for years, and they're obsessed, and they're like, oh, I can't wait till the day that I just go for it and jump in and work with you, right? So you're going to have a mix of people, but at the end of the day, it does not matter how long you've been in business or not. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how well you're known in the industry or not. There's room here for everybody. There's money for everybody. There's clients for everybody. There's more than enough to go around. It's a matter of you getting your head in the game, getting it in the right place, and then showing up relentlessly, unapologetically, consistently. so that people can really start to see you, so they can know, like, and trust you, right? So that is step number 3. If anybody wants to drop that in, it's increase your prices, okay? The fourth thing kind of goes with what I was just saying, is to really be visible and give value. I would like to see you guys giving more value versus more pitches and more sales, emails and posts and things like that, invitations. I'd rather see you give more value. And I know there can be this urgency with, how do you do that when you have bills to pay and, you know, you have a significant other who is, you know, on your back because they're wondering when you're ever going to make money in your business. Like, here's the thing. I get that because I've been there. My husband used to fund all of my business ventures, and I was literally home with the kids trying to get a business off the ground. I went through multiple different types of MLMs and network marketing and different types of businesses. We ended up almost going into foreclosure, having to sell our first home. We borrowed over $20,000 from my mother-in-law to pay our mortgage while my husband worked 2 jobs trying to fund my business and feed us. I get it more than anybody, that urgency. But here's what I want to say. The urgent energy is not going to create a client, okay? And being pitchy and salesy and thinking that you have to come up with sexy marketing in order for, that you have to be some marketer in order for you to get clients is actually not what people are attracted to anymore. People actually want to get to know you, and they want your story, and they want your experience, and they want to know, how do you relate to me? Because if you can relate to me, then maybe I could feel like you could help me, right? That kind of content and being visible like that and being really genuine and vulnerable and open with that is what will create clients 100 times faster and easier than trying to come up with some clever marketing pitch, okay? I promise you that if you have an urgency for clients and you want to fill a program or a service and you just want to validate that you can do this and that you're on the right path by getting at least one damn client, then I am telling you to stop with the clever marketing messaging and to stop being pitchy and salesy and feeling like you need to be asking everybody to buy all the time and proving yourself to people or negotiating and trying to convince people to work with you. Instead, X all of that. And what I want you to be doing instead is saying, how can I show up today so that people can learn who I am and what I'm all about and how I'm so passionate about the work that I do and how I can help them. And how can I start building relationships with people right now today so that my content is helpful for them. And I promise you that the more people have that sort of connection with you, they're going to come check you out. They're going to check you out. They're going to indulge in your content. They're going to try to learn about you, and they're going to message you, and they're going to want to work with you way faster than this clever marketing that you're trying so desperately to pretend and make up and come up with. Just start writing more intentional. Share more story, more about you. People want to know you, okay? That's going to be the first step to getting people to know, like, and trust you so they can become a buyer. All right, so that is the 4th step. I'm going to go really deep into this, into my upcoming free 5-day challenge that I got. It's all about getting fully booked and blowing up your sales. We will be promoting that link very, very soon. If you want it, let me know in the comments, but we will be launching that later this, maybe probably next week. We will be launching that, and you guys will be able to opt in for that free challenge. And we're going to spend 5 live days together going super deep on a bunch of different ways that you can get fully booked and blow up your sales in this online space, okay? But I just wanted to come in today. I thought this would be a little helpful for you. It's just a couple of little things that you can start really looking at your gaps and say, what am I missing and where could I incorporate some of these things into what I'm already doing so that I can sign clients this week, okay? Because again, there are more than enough clients and more than enough cash flow out there for you. You just need to be showing up the right way so that people can have that connection with you and see that you're someone who can help them. And it's not going to be through sales and pitchy marketing type of email and content, okay? Let me know if this was helpful, and I'll see you guys really soon.